Good morning and welcome into the York University Gymnasium. It's J.J. Evison and Haley Hopkinson on the call in the main gym. Today we have the 15Us and it begins this morning, 9 a.m. Team Ontario taking on Team Quebec. Now both teams coming off a win yesterday. Team Quebec handing a loss to BC with a 20-point victory, 86-66, led by Victor Vincent, the 7-footer out of Quebec, 14 points, 9 rebounds on 5 of 8 from the field. Meanwhile, Ontario absolutely smothered and beat Alberta 94-44, a 50-point victory. A pretty even contribution up and down the lineup, but when you look at one name for Team Ontario, Haley, who are you looking at?
I'm looking at Jordan Fisher. He was the top scorer, top rebounder of that game. He's a very talented player. We've seen him during training camp. We've seen him a little bit of everything, and that's the thing. He can do a little bit of everything, so he's just a great player to have on that court. He's obviously a taller one as well, so he can help in the paint, which was a big part of yesterday's game. A ton of points coming from the paint, a ton of points coming from the bench, too, for both teams. But looking at that paint for BC is going to be a big problem as well for Ontario to deal with. They scored 48 points in the paint yesterday against BC, so trying to control that early on for both sides is going to be a massive part of this game.
Well, here he is for the tip-off. Jordan Fisher wins it for Team Ontario. The loose ball, though, corralled by Liam Medallion from Quebec. And quickly the pace is recognized here. Nice spin move into the paint, kicks it to the corner, shot. Joshua Charlton off the mark, rebounded by Quebec. Medallion to Charlton, extra pass out to the perimeter. From the free throw line, in and out. Ontario needs to grab a defensive rebound here. Isaiah Clark pushing the pace. Fake the pass, couldn't get the finish. Noah Dacre on the rebound, decides to bring it back out, settle things down. And this Team Ontario is very composed. They do have a lot of IQ and recognize these opportunities to get a better look than being surrounded by 4 blue jerseys. And Jordan Fisher gets the first basket of the game. A nice little lay-in. Ludovic Bilodeau now working in the key, kicks it out. Long three is flush for Grady Mapuanya. Kenyon St. Louis working up the right-hand side. He's a returnee from last year's U15 Team Ontario. Isaiah Hamilton gives it now. St. Louis fouled on the way to the basket. So St. Louis will head to the free throw line for 2. The D-League Junior Boys All-Star in the OSBA Pool A with Full Circle Basketball Academy. There is no doubt that he is one of the leaders of this U15 team, especially with his experience.
Definitely, and we talked to him during media day, saying that that was a role he was comfortable with taking on because he has that extra experience, but he's played with a lot of these guys. He also plays with Canada Elite, like a lot of the players on this team as well, so the chemistry's already there. It's just about him leading them.
Jordan Fisher on the inbound play gets to the rack, can't put it away, so referees came together, decided it was not in the act of shooting the foul on Quebec. Medallion into the paint, loses it, picks it back up, right-handed scoop, no good, rebounded by Clark.
Those shots, Liam, are something we're going to see very often. If you give him space, he's always going to shoot.
What a bounce pass, Isaiah Hamilton, Noah Dacre finishing off the play. Connection and connectivity is something that we talked a lot about Team Ontario and their coaches last week during training camp. Quebec now on the offensive side of the ball. And one opportunity, count the basket. Joshua Charlton, 6'2" guard. Nice little finish.
Yep, he was attacking the rim during yesterday's game a lot. He's definitely someone you'd never want to lose sight of on that court because he'll do a lot of damage.
Shalon Beckford checking in for Team Ontario as Isaiah Hamilton takes to the bench. And the depth of this roster for Team Ontario is something that we've talked about. You know, in the lead up to this tournament, we saw it a little bit yesterday. We'll see how many substitutions Yusri Salia decides to go with early on as the three-point play is converted. Charlton giving Quebec the lead 6-4 here early. Just 2 minutes played in the first quarter. Noah Dacre will head to the bench, giving way to Demetrius Woodard. And a press here from Quebec. No problem for Kenyon St. Louis. Easily over the timeline, working with Fisher at the top. St. Louis has the bigger Mapuana on him. Looking for some time and space, finds it. Short on the three-pointer. Quebec out in transition. Ludovic Bilodeau, nice little touch off the glass. Shalon Beckford now dancing with it. Works past his primary defender into the paint. Floater. Yes, Shalon Beckford, immediate impact on the offensive side.
We'll probably see a lot about that. His handles and the confidence he has with it can really help him get around any defender.
And he puts that into his Instagram handle, Lawn2Shifty. That's LAHN2, the number 2 Shifty _ Out on the run, Fisher decides to lay it in easily, take the 2 points. No point in risking any missed opportunities there. We saw a couple of missed dunks yesterday.
Definitely. Not good for the ego, not good for the points.
And don't be fooled. These kids can get up. It was a handful of dunks yesterday from Isaiah Clark and Makai Williams. The deep three off the mark, rebounded by Fisher. Fisher pushing the pace, spins around at half, almost loses the dribble. Pass now, St. Louis can't convert. Teammates colliding under the basket, and Bandalian's out for Quebec. Spin move into the paint. The pass between 4 hands from Team Quebec and out of bounds.
Got the U17 Team Ontario boys supporting the younger ones. They'll play soon after this game.
Yes, they tip off at 11:15 over in the Fieldhouse Gymnasium. That one will be on Canada Basketball. In fact, all the games from U15 and U17 national championships here in Toronto and out in Newfoundland and Labrador streaming live on Canada Basketball's YouTube. Nicholas Witherich in for Kenyon St. Louis, number 4 in gray. Had a great game yesterday. 3 assists, 10 points. Jordan Fisher going to work. Finds Shalon Beckford, extra pass. Isaiah Clark, you betcha.
He's another one of those guys on Canada Elite. He does a lot with the UA Futures and the CYBL.
15U versus 17U. The shot, good, from Donovan Bilodeau. Nicholas Witherich dancing on the right-hand side. Gets into the paint, kicks it out. Shalon Beckford now. One more pass. Demetrius Woodard from the corner. You know it. Trading threes here in the first quarter. We're nearly halfway through. Ontario have the lead by 3. Nice spin move into the lane there by Victor Vincent, who led Quebec yesterday in their win over BC. 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 of 8 from the field. Good performance. Jordan Fisher has a couple of smaller guards, takes it to the rack, and he can get anywhere he wants, Jordan Fisher. So we're halfway through quarter number 1. It's a 5-point lead for Team Ontario, and Jordan Fisher is the recipe for success here, at least early on in this game. Jordan Fisher, 6 points, 2 boards.
Yep, and I don't think he'll be slowing down. He plays with Uchenna Academy for the OBA, and he's also got multiple offers for post-secondary already, which is crazy to think because this is just U15 and they've still got so much more to go. But, I mean, when you see a talent like that, it makes sense why colleges are jumping on him. So
exactly. Recruiting is a big part of collegiate basketball, both here in Canada and across the border in the States. If you can get to these kids and put them with a trainer in their region that you're familiar with, and have them come to your program ready to contribute right away, instead of developing them as soon as they get into your colors, you're ahead of everybody else.
And even just talking to the U17s who had offers at Media Day, just saying, what does it do for the resumes, for your teammates, and for everybody else? And it just puts you on a stage where you can perform to the best of your abilities with the best people around you, playing against the best competition. Everyone recognizes that this is a difficult competition right here, especially just looking at these two teams, Quebec and Ontario. Bit of rivalry here, but it's a great stage and great opportunities come from it.
As we get set to continue the first quarter, Quebec trail by 5. And right now, Foul called. As Jalen Chopra, number 3, checks in for Team Quebec. Victor Vincent, listed as 7 foot, not quite sure that that's the case. The shot from Donovan Bilodeau, bucket. Woodard now up the court. Works into space, gives it up to Beckford. Beckford eyeing up Chopra. All the way across to Nicholas Woodridge. Blocked 3-point attempt, but right there to collect the rebound and put it back up. Jacob Wolker will head to the free throw line. As Yusri Salia has a word with Shalon Beckford, and Demetrius Woodard will talk it over. The miscommunication there. Cross-court passes were a topic of conversation amongst this team in their turnover category yesterday when breaking down the games with the fellas. That is Ontario. Wolker misses the first. The second rolls away as well. Rebounded by Quebec. Looking to push the pace. Chopra working with Vincent into the corner. Shooter's feet are set off the front of the iron. Woodrich corrals the defensive rebound. If you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in. Team Ontario in the gray uniforms moving from left to right on your screens. Quebec in the blue on blue. In fact, prior to tip-off, Team Ontario is wearing their black uniforms. Hard to distinguish between Team Quebec as Noah Dacre's three-point shot is off the mark. Vincent gets it swatted away by Welker, but ball finds its way to the hands of Pelissier. Now up to the top, Vincent gonna work down low. Kick it out. Shooters in the corner. Pelissier now in the paint working on Dacre. Dacre forces a travel with his good defensive effort. So another turnover for Team Quebec here as we get a trio of substitutes coming back in for Team Ontario. Isaiah Hamilton, Kenyon St. Louis, and of course, Jordan Fisher. He didn't sit for long, Haley.
No. I mean, he's going to be a massive leader in this game. So probably getting in a few words with him every now and then is definitely going to be helpful just to keep everything sharp.
Noah Dacre, hounded by two Quebec players, gets it easily to Fisher, who's going to work with St. Louis on the far side. Fisher now at the top. Keeps, takes, backing down. St. Louis into the paint, loses the handle. Wolker can't save it on the way out. But last touch by Quebec. Well, you look at the coaching staff for this Team Ontario team and the head coach, Yusri Salia. He's the head coach of Bill Crothers' men, former Lakehead University ball player. And the three's good for Noah Dacre. The foul and the rare chance at a 4-point play right in front of the U17 boys. All of them giving them his props. So just the vast experience of coaching for this Ontario team. We talked about Yusri Salia, right? Bill Crothers, assistant coach at U of T with Madav Trivedi and what they did last year, making it to the semifinals against Queens, losing in double overtime, tough loss. Dacre makes the 4-point play good, and now Ontario lead by 7, slowly but surely increasing that lead. Quebec looking for some sort of answer to cut into that and take the lead by the end of the first break. Picking up the dribble, stuck, and hands in the passing lanes. Dacre forces a turnover. St. Louis now off the glass. There to pick up the garbage is Isaiah Hamilton. Don't you love when you have teammates come and help out on a missed basket?
Yeah, right? And the U17 guys all screaming and cheering for him.
The step through, can't get the roll to go. Contact on the way, so Nias Lazare will head to the free throw line for 2.
Now, it looks like Quebec's doing a good job. It just looks like the communication on offense is what's kind of getting them right now. And I'd say for Ontario, it's kind of the rebounding situation going on their offense, which is definitely keeping them away from those second point opportunities. But I think once everyone settles into this game a little more, we'll start to see the scores go up a bit. But yeah, Quebec, just a little more communication.
The first is good. The second off the mark, Hamilton with the rebound for Ontario. Gives it up to the ball handler, St. Louis. St. Louis guarded by Bandali, and now gives it up to Jordan Fisher. Jordan Fisher fakes moving into the screen. Instead coughs it up, and that's a turnover. A rare sight for Jordan Fisher.
Substitution for Team Quebec, number 9, Joshua Charlotte, comes in for number 4, Nias Lazare.
Joshua Charlton in for Tanias Lazare. Team Quebec making the substitution. Kenyon St. Louis steal off the inbound. Nothing but backboard and net. An easy run out for Kenyon St. Louis. Leads up to 10 for Ontario. Charlton now. Gives it up to Ludovic Bilodeau between the legs, finds some space, attacking the paint. Hounded, called for the travel. That's 2 travels in the opening quarter for Team Quebec in the offensive half.
Those little mistakes start to add up, especially if they start happening in the first period or first quarter. So you definitely want to start doing the most you can to get rid of those.
Noah Dacre, the extra pass. Hamilton has it on the perimeter now, and Ontario squandered an opportunity for an odd man rush. Kenyon St. Louis waiting for the screen, gets it from Mackay Williams. Takes the 3, St. Louis off the mark. Rebounded by Isaiah Hamilton. Dacre's in the corner calling for it. Feet set, ready to shoot. Remember, that's where he made that 3 and the foul. Dacre has a spot on the floor, and it is the near corner on the offensive side.
Yep, and Ontario does such a good job at recognizing people's strong suits and making sure they're there and can get the ball when they need it.
Bandalian behind the back. Coughs it up, Bilodeau into the paint. Suffocated. Out onto the perimeter. Mapuana misses. All the way down the court. Jordan Fisher's got time and space. Ball's loose, diving on the floor. Love the effort from Kenyon St. Louis. So does his head coach and teammates.
The hustle is there. He's been called multiple times the #1 guard in his class, and it's just kind of clear to see. He's been on this court before, the only one to really return. So it just makes sense because on these big stages, he performs.
2 points and an assist here in the opening quarter for St. Louis. Quebec now trying to get onto the inside of Ontario's defense. They haven't been able to do that successfully. Block in the back, Mackay Williams. Timing was perfect. What can you say about this Ontario's interior defense, Haley? It's suffocating.
It's very suffocating. Quebec's having a very difficult time just trying to get in there in general. It just seems like for every Quebec player, there's magically 2 Ontario players right there every time. They do a great job with like a zone and man-to-man defense, usually more zone in the back row, but attacking those players and trapping them whenever they can.
Some contact on Mapuana's attempt there, so Grady Mapuana will head to the free throw line for 2, number 15 in blue. So this blue on blue again for Quebec. We saw it yesterday, a little difficult to see those numbers. But we know who these players are, how they play. The first, no good for Mapuana, so we'll get you the information you need, folks. Thanks for tuning in early on a Tuesday. Another rainy day here in Toronto. Good to spend it indoors at this National Championship U15, U17 displaying Canada's next biggest talents.
And we've got U15 in this gym all day today. They switch back and forth every day, it seems.
Mapuana good for the second. Lead just 11 now for Ontario. Shalon Beckford breaks the press pretty easily. Baseline pass. Fisher has one to beat. Kicks it back up to the top. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. St. Louis. Shalon Beckford on the far wing. 5 seconds left. Noah Dacre. That one a little too strong. Quebec able to pick it up, slow it down. 12 seconds left in the quarter. One final look at a good bucket here for Quebec, but great defense. Jordan Fisher, Kenyon St. Louis has time to the rack, misses. Contact on the way up from Ryan Jabril. So Ontario turn another offensive possession for Quebec over, run out, and get a chance to extend this lead at the first quarter break.
I'm thinking that Quebec might come into the second quarter with that press the whole time. It looked really strong at the beginning. It's just about resetting up once it's broken, because Ontario is a very fast team. We know, especially with Beckford and St. Louis, their handles, they can sprint up and down this court for days, it seems like. So as long as they can reestablish that, once everyone's in the defensive zone, they should be good.
Tough luck for Isaiah Clark there. Couldn't get the rebound to put it back on the missed free throw. So it's 28-15, a 13-point lead for Team Ontario. As we step aside for first quarter break, stick with us. More basketball from York University between Team Quebec and Team Ontario's U15s coming up after this. Welcome back to York University's main gymnasium. JJ Evison, Haley Hopkinson, taking you along for the ride on this 9 a.m. tip-off between Team Ontario and Team Quebec, the U15 teams. It's a 13-point lead for Team Ontario, who are led by Noah Dacre, 9 points, 3 of 6 from the field. Remember, he had that 4-point play. Meanwhile, Team Ontario holding Quebec to just 38% from the field, 37 from within the paint and in the two-point area, and 40% from deep. We talked about communication, Haley, for Quebec and how that's going to be pivotal for them trying to get back into this game. But how can they use Ontario's defense against them when they collapse into that paint on those drives?
Honestly, kicking it out and looking for that extra pass and the person that's open, because Ontario really is collapsing into that paint with about 3 guys trying to collapse on one person, which is obviously leaving 2 people open. So it's just about looking around.
St. Louis with the 3 and the pass from Jordan Fisher. Jordan Fisher involved again in another offensive bucket for Team Ontario.
Even if he's not the top scorer, he's always going to have an impact on that floor. It's the same with St. Louis. They might not, but look at that right there.
The steal and the run out. St. Louis extends the lead. Lazare on the far side for Quebec now. Ignores the screen, coughs it up. Chopra. Jalen Chopra into the paint. Swallowed up, kicks out, attacking now. Off the mark was Pelissier. Quebec gets the rebound, has another offensive look. A deep 3. That one's off the mark as well. St. Louis has it on the run. It's a 3-on-2. Nice pass to Clark. Isaiah Clark with the lefty finish. Leads up to 20 now for Team Ontario. And you get a sense that they're not going to let up at any point.
No, especially with how deep their bench runs. If one person does get a little gas, you've got, 7 players on the bench right there who could fill the spot.
Chopra into the corner. One more pass to Charlatan. Down low, blocked. But contact is going to be called on Isaiah Clark. And Victor Vincent will head to the free throw line for Quebec. Demetrius Woodard getting set to check back in for Team Ontario, as is Grady Mapuana for Quebec.
Coming in is number 10, Ryan Gibril, and number 15, Grady Kamuanya. For Team Quebec, and for Team
Noah
Ontario,
Dacre will take a
number 9,
seat,
Demetrius
giving
Woodard.
way to Demetrius Woodard's minutes.
Victor Vincent, 22.
Just looking over on Team Ontario's bench there, Mackay Williams has one shoe off. Some ice in his hand. We'll keep you updated on that. Meanwhile, Victor Vincent at the free throw line misses. Lane violation going to be called. We'll redo the shot. Shalon Beckford, stepping in from the three-point line early.
Vincent with that massive game yesterday, 14 points and also 9 rebounds. His presence is definitely felt on the court.
He only shot 8 field goal attempts, which is, I mean, for a guy of his size, you'd think he'd get at least 10 to 12. Demetrius Woodard in the far corner, and it's raining threes on Team Quebec. Ontario 6 for 11 from deep now, thanks to that bucket by Demetrius Woodard. Leads up to 21. Foul called on Isaiah Hamilton, I believe. Side out of bounds for Quebec.
This team is trying to keep the streak going right now. All Team Ontario teams won yesterday. The U17 and U15 girls in Newfoundland blowout games just as much as they were here. So they're the first Team Ontario team to play today. So we'll see if they can continue it. I know the U17 girls are not playing today. They've got a rest day, but they'll go and support the U15 girls.
How's that for a schedule? Travel day, rest day, game day, rest day.
Right.
That's only going to help. Meanwhile, here in Toronto, Quebec trail by 21 against Team Ontario, the U15 team. And there it is. Attack the paint, kick it out. 3 made. Grady Mapuana.
He's definitely a very versatile player. He can do a little bit of everything on the court.
Jacob Walker, Jordan Fisher now working baseline. Has Woodrich up top. Near side, Woodard from the near side. That one in and out. Woodrich just off the fingertips. And Jalen Chopra pushing the pace. Here he is now. Chopra fakes the pass, kicks it out. Near side, Gibril into the paint. And that's where you get in trouble against this Team Ontario, is going down to the paint, kicking it out, and heading right back down because all 5 players are right inside that painted area.
Yeah, Team Ontario moves very quickly with this, so sending that ball as fast as possible to as many different people as possible to try to throw off the game, maybe throw off their defense a little bit, is probably Quebec's best bet to close this gap before half.
Meanwhile, Ontario scoring a lot of buckets in transition out on the run and getting into some good half-court sets. Taking a look here. Points from turnovers. Ontario has 19 points off of 8 turnovers from Team Quebec. That is the difference right now.
Yeah. And we can't speak for Quebec, but we saw Team Ontario's media day. We got to see them practice beforehand. Working in transition is something they did a lot with running back and forth, teams switching in and out. Once one team scores, we just saw a lot of drills that translate really well to the court, and we've seen it with every team.
Three team fouls for Team Ontario with 7:28 remaining in the second quarter, just 1 on Quebec. As Ryan Gibril is at the free throw line for Team Quebec, looking to put some sort of spark in this offense. First a little too strong. Gibril had 12 points, 3 rebounds in 23 minutes against BC in that 86-66 win yesterday. 1 for 2 from the free throw line there. Here's that press you were asking for, Haley.
I think it's smart.
Woodrich dances, and St. Louis has it at the top of the key. Woodard into Wolker. Wolker up, can't get it to go. Right there, fighting for the rebound is Fisher. Ball off of a blue jersey and stays possession Team Ontario. So a two big look here with Jacob Wolker and Jordan Fisher on the floor for Yusri Salia's Team Ontario.
I like the press because right away it makes it difficult to set up. It causes a lot of chaos in their offensive zone. I think that's exactly what we just saw right there.
Kenyon St. Louis calling for Wolker's screen. Uses it. Gets around the second defender into the paint and fouled on the way to the basket. So Kenyon St. Louis will head to the free throw line for 2 more free throws. He ended the first quarter with a 1-for-2 trip.
I think that's something, the free throw shooting, maybe lacking a little bit in every team we've seen, I think.
First shot barely moved the nylon. And he makes the second. So a perfect trip that time. No press from Ontario as Quebec is able to just carry it over the timeline here. Chopra working to the right on Woodrich. Great footwork by Woodrich. Getting in the passing lanes, deflecting the ball. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Mapuana fouled by Jordan Fisher on the way up, and Fisher hung his head immediately, knowing that the primary defender, Jacob Wolker, had him tied up. There's definitely a fine line between help defense and staying committed to your assignment.
Yeah.
And when you overcommit to that help defense, trouble starts to happen, right?
Hands fly, fouls happen.
Some players, don't get me wrong, some players you need to double team. You got to get the ball in their hand.
Totally.
But when your teammate has his assignment locked down, feet in front of, between them and the basket, there's no real reason to stick a hand in.
Totally, because everybody on this team, on both teams, can defend.
To cut the lead to 17, Mapuana makes it. That presses back. Woodrich gives it up to Fisher. Fisher's on the run, has bodies. Woodard in the corner. Money. Demetrius Woodard. And Noah Dacre just, woo.
Lucky spot on the court for sure.
They're gonna have to not let Quebec take any threes from that spot in the second half.
Totally.
Meanwhile, Demetrius Woodard. The better, Victor Vincent getting the better of him there. Just using his body and size. As Nicholas Woodrich works on his defender. Keeps. Now gives it to St. Louis. Wolker there with the screen and the roll. Hand in the passing lane for Vincent. And Victor Vincent with the two-handed jam. Not really how you expect it to go, but 2 points is 2 points, Haley.
2 points.
And the steal by Bilodeau and the putback. So Bilodeau, Donovan Bilodeau with the quick hands.
That's the thing watching this Quebec team play. They'll never give up on trying to attack that ball, and I've seen plays like that happen quite a bit for them when they're scoring right off that inbound.
Fisher can't get it to go. Demetrius Woodard leaks into the paint, collects the rebound, and puts it back. And it looks like Jordan Fisher's trying to get his own number going here, looking for his own shots and his own takes. The corner three off the mark from Bilodeau. St. Louis gives it up to Woodard. One more pass to Woodrich. Woodrich back to Woodard. And he can't complete the dunk. Instead, he'll head to the free throw line for 2. And all of the Team Ontario U17 boys thought that was going to be a poster.
Very close, but still has the chance for 2 shots.
2 points is 2 points. Don't matter how you get them. Yeah, tell that to every dunker ever.
I love how the announcer does that. Shooting 3.
Woodard short on the first of 2. He was the breakout performer in the North Pole Hoop Showcase. And you're seeing a little bit about why here in this game to kick off Tuesday. Jalen Chopra on the far side for Team Quebec, working with Grady Mapuana. Defended well by Beckford, who gets a hand on it, creating some havoc. In the near corner, Victor Vincent, too strong. Noah Dacre with the rebound. Shalon Beckford gonna bring it up. Dacre has, it's Wolker now with time and space working on Mapuana. Couldn't get by the defender, Dacre. Extra pass to Woodard, fakes the shot, into the paint. Tough layup, no good. Victor Vincent throws it down court. Jabril tripped up. He'll head to the free throw line. No, it's gonna be a side out, or referee now signaling two shots. They're gonna have a conversation about when the foul occurred. And in fact, Ryan Jabril does get 2 free throw attempts.
The hustle from Beckford, though, it was there.
I mean, I don't think we can say it hasn't been there for any player for Team Ontario on both ends of the court so far today.
Totally.
Jordan Fisher will get another quick breather as Isaiah Hamilton comes back into the game. As Jabril makes the first free throw. Ryan Jabril had 12 points in that opening win against BC. A 1-for-2 trip to the line. Victor Vincent with the rebound. Kicks it out to Ludovic Bilodeau. Shot clock issue. They need to reset it to 10, and they do. As there's a timeout for Team Quebec. We'll step aside and be right back with more second quarter action from York University. It's the 15U, 17U Canadian National Championships. Stick with us. Welcome back inside the York University Gymnasium. J.J. Evison, Haley Hopkinson on the call for this 9 o'clock tip-off. U15, Ontario versus Quebec. Ontario leads by 16 with 4:20 left in the second period. They outscored Quebec 28-15 in the first quarter, are outscoring them here in the second quarter 18-15. Led, of course, by their captain, Kenyon St. Louis, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals, Haley.
He's just playing, honestly, to the best of his abilities right now. We can definitely see that.
Shalon Beckford called for another foul on the inbound play. That'll be his 3rd personal, which poses a problem for the rest of this half.
Definitely. He's been in and out, but...
Not to mention the fact that Team Ontario, 5 team fouls, so Quebec into the bonus.
Their shooting at the free throw line has been pretty good, but I feel like Quebec's offense is slowly starting to pick up a little bit. They seem to be looking for that extra pass, being a little bit more dominant with those offensive rebounds, hitting the second chance shots and kicking it out. 10
of Quebec's 31 points coming at the free throw line. They are 10 of 14 on the morning. Woodard gives it up to Beckford, and now over to Dacre. Dacre looking for some action. Finds Isaiah Hamilton working baseline. Hamilton suffocated. Demetrius Woodard with the extra pass. 2 seconds left on the shot clock for an inbound play for Team Ontario, as that pass intended for Jacob Wolker just off the mark.
The original pass, though, great.
Dacre, they tried to find him in the near corner of his hot spot. Instead, it's turned over and then turned over again. Isaiah Hamilton has it at the top of the arc. into the paint, no one around. Floater, rims out, and that's off of Walker and out of bounds. So a sloppy inbound play, which led to a turnover. A good defensive effort to get the ball back, but then the floater, which seems like an easy basket when there's no one around you, just rims around. Quebec staying on the perimeter. Victor Vincent off the mark, but rebounded by Jabril. Jabril now inside, contested, and Demetrius Woodard comes away with the block. Foul's going to be called on Quebec for the push. And right back into the game, Mr. Jordan Fisher.
No surprise there.
30-second rest is all you need for Jordan Fisher. Dacre, the full court press, putting a little bit extra pressure on this Team Ontario. And Kenyon St. Louis comes in for Demetrius Woodard.
Yep, the key for Quebec's game right now is to just make Ontario uncomfortable with what they're doing, uncomfortable having to defend this close up. And they're doing a good job of it right now.
Victor Vincent working on Dacre, hands it off to Jabril, passes over to Ludovic Bilodeau. Bilodeau to the other Bilodeau, into the paint. And that's one way to create time and space in paint is, you saw there Quebec had everybody on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And Donovan Bilodeau was able to get behind his defender into the paint. And there, that quick pass, there was no gray jerseys around him.
Totally. You know, Bilodeau doing a great job being able to really find his positioning on that floor.
Victor Vincent at the top of the key, works into the paint, spin move, right-handed finger roll is good. Dacre gets it into Woodrich. No one is guarding Woodrich, so that's an easy over the timeline for him. The pass intercepted by, well, it looked like Bilodeau got a hand on it first, but then Jabril comes away with it. Mapuanyu, no good. Jordan Fisher. That's a dangerous play as two bodies come down on top of each other. The pass intended for Isaiah Hamilton from Kenyon St. Louis. Timeout called. Team Ontario will step aside. Stick with us as we wrap up second quarter action here from York University. Team Ontario versus Team Quebec. It's the U15s kicking off a morning of basketball. .241 on the clock left in the second quarter. Team Ontario leads Team Quebec, the U15s, by 13 points. As Ontario have it on the baseline. Isaiah Hamilton gets it in right back to St. Louis, fakes the shot, attacks, has Jordan Fisher size advantage, but good defense there by Team Quebec. It was Pelissier. Donovan Bilodeau now working to the right-hand side. Working on Woodrich. And gets downhill on Woodrich, just uses his body and his size to create space. Gets the floaty finish, Noah Dacre. 2 seconds to get it over the timeline, and Kenyon St. Louis does. Jordan Fisher now. Nice crossover into the paint. Woodrich in the far corner. Rebounded by Quebec, and they're out on the run. Victor Vincent has one to beat. Handoff, nice pass to Ludovic Bilodeau for the finish. It's a 4-point swing for Team Quebec, who now trail by 9.
That was perfect there, really spatial awareness on the court, where your players are. That was just textbook.
Kenyon St. Louis gets hit after making it across the timeline in the nick of time. 4th team foul for Team Quebec. Demetrius Woodard checks back in for Ontario to finish out the quarter. Pardon me, that's the 5th team foul on Quebec, so Kenyon St. Louis will head to the free throw line, looking to improve on his 10 points here in the opening half. Nothing but nylon on the first. Slowly, the gymnasium's starting to fill up with hoopers and viewers and supporters of Canadian basketball. Victor Vincent, quick pass to Bilodeau. This one short on the rim. Dacre comes away with the rebound and then is fouled. So more free throws upcoming. Yep. And yeah, you called it. That press by Team Quebec did put pressure on Team Ontario, and they looked a little out of sync. But that interior defense is still looking quite nice.
Totally, and that's the thing. If the press isn't working to try to stop them from getting over half, it honestly just disturbs everything, and it kind of makes teams have to adjust on the fly, which is tricky for some of them, especially not having a ton of time with each other to begin with. But if Ontario, after the second half, can kind of figure out how they can quickly reestablish after that press, then they should be good. But Quebec needs to figure out how they can apply even more pressure with that press until they can catch up and take on their own game again.
Dacre misses the second, so he has 10 on the game, trailing St. Louis by 1 for the lead on Team Ontario. Meanwhile, Donovan Bilodeau works to his left this time. Another turnover. Kenyon St. Louis, will he take it himself? He misses, but collecting the garbage, Demetrius Woodard. And then you had 2 Team Ontario players coming to help out in case he missed. Bilodeau going downhill again. Right-handed finish, no good. And the block by Jordan Fisher. Noah Dacre goes the other way. It's a 1-on-4, so he slows things down. Fisher thought about going from the three-point line. Instead, puts his head down, attacks the paint, and will head to the free throw line for 2 more points, or the attempt at 2 more points.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Fisher played in the All-Canadian games, and with TPG averaged 7 points and 4.4 rebounds last season. Those numbers definitely going to increase over the course of this tournament. I have coffee every day. Didn't have a coffee today.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. The second's good. Maybe after this game I'll have to get one before we come back and call the 1:30 game. Bilodeau hands it off. Pelissier, yes. Ontario able to break the press there and going all the way downhill. Dacre from the near side, yeah, you betcha, another 3. That's his 3rd made 3 in the opening half. Noah Dacre, have yourself a morning.
I think 2 minutes ago, Coach was yelling at him too, saying, shoot it, Noah, shoot it. And obviously he's in the zone right now. Look at him again.
Comes up with the steal and the finish. Noah Dacre is the player of the half.
Mm-hmm.
There is no doubt about that. And how about Team Ontario dropping 60 in 20 minutes? What a 3 to end the quarter for Grady Mapuanya. And Team Quebec now trail 18 heading into the half. That'll give you a little boost of confidence.
No, totally. That's a good way to end it off if you're going to end off trailing. You want a big moment, a big statement right there, saying that, yeah, we're coming back. We're not out of this game, but definitely being down is tricky at any time.
So it's 60-42 here. Team Ontario lead the U15 Team Quebec at the half. We'll step aside and we'll be back just before second half action to get you caught up on all the storylines from around the U15 and U17 national championships. Stick with us, folks.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and he shift and the left hands finish.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and he shift and the left hands finish.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching them do this. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and he shift in the left hand, you finish.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching them do this. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and he shift in the left hand, you finish.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching them do this. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and he shift in the left hand, you finish.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Shift in your left hand, you finish.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat. Carbs to help fuel your working muscles. And fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching. That's exactly what they want to do, right? That and
Shift in your left hand, you finish.
Welcome back for 20 more minutes of action between the U15 Team Ontario and Team Quebec. Ontario lead 57-42 at the half. There was a slight scoring error at the end of the second quarter, but we have fixed that now. 57-42 is the score. Noah Dacre leading Team Ontario with 15 points, including 3 of 5 from deep. Another player for Team Ontario who has 3 3-pointers, Demetrius Woodard, 3 of 4 from deep, 14 points in the game. Meanwhile, Quebec being led by a trio of players. Grady Mapuanya has 9 points. So does Donovan Bilodeau, as does Victor Vincent. A lot of that second quarter we talked about getting into the interior defense of Ontario and creating havoc during those full court presses. Is that something that's maintainable for this team, Quebec?
I think it can be maintainable in the second half. I think it was here and there throughout the first half, but I have to assume that that's what they were talking about during that halftime break, about getting into that paint, because 18 of their points have come from the paint. Their score isn't too high, but it's just they've got the tall guys. They've got the guys to do it. They're very all versatile. They don't have one specific person who's always going to be going into the paint. Maybe as Team Ontario does, have specific guys for specific jobs. But I think it can be maintainable as long as they know that that is the goal here.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's the bar that they've set.
Yeah.
Victor Vincent at the top of the key working on Isaiah Clark. Hands it off to Mapuana from deep. He ended the first half with a deep three at the buzzer. Victor Vincent grabs the rebound and puts it away. Team Quebec open up the scoring here in quarter number 3. And it is the scoring leader for Team Ontario, Noah Dacre, handing it off to Kenyon St. Louis, now directing traffic. Guarded by Donovan Bilodeau. Right back to Noah Dacre. On the far side, Isaiah Hamilton. From deep, Hamilton off the mark. Rebounded by St. Louis. Finds Hamilton. Hamilton has a shooter in the corner. It's Dacre. Decides not to pull it. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. St. Louis into the paint. Lefty hand, no good. Donovan Bilodeau pushing. Gives it up. The trailer, Victor Vincent. No foul called. Play on, says the refs. It's a 2-on-1. St. Louis to Hamilton. Two-handed flush, Isaiah Hamilton. A little bit of sloppy basketball there, but what a pretty finish. Victor Vincent runs into traffic. Jordan Fisher gets a hand on the ball for the turnover.
Yeah, St. Louis and Hamilton, they play together with Canada Elite. It feels like it's apparent on the court that you can tell that they have experience playing with each other. Just the little give and goes, they just work so smoothly for them. And here's that Quebec press.
Referee's having a quick word. And we are set to resume play. Jordan Fisher, the recipient of the inbound pass. Slows things down on the near side. Working on Jabril. Gives it up now, St. Louis. Dacre in the paint, spinning, fading. Yes, Noah Dacre. Seemingly can't miss. 6 of 9 from the field.
Yeah, he's playing very smart. He plays like he knows exactly what is happening around him at all times, and it just looks like it.
Jabril now working on Clark. Jabril into the paint. 4 gray jerseys around, late call, but the right call, contact on the arm. And Ryan Jabril will head to the free throw line, 4-2.
He's doing a really great job defending Jordan Fisher. As long as he stays in between Jordan and that basket, he should be good because he's staying tight and close on him, just running back from that press. A little bit of more closeness, and Quebec's press is going to be very effective.
Well, it seems that anytime Jordan Fisher has the ball, all 10 Quebec eyes are on him.
Yeah.
And that leaves a little bit of a window for a back cut or a...
Definitely does.
Jabril misses the second. Rebound, Vincent. Oh, but Isaiah Clark there to steal it away. And it's the captain, St. Louis, now up to Fisher. Fisher moving downhill. Beautiful step through. 2 points, Jordan Fisher. Bandalian works to his right. Met at the top by Clark. Bandalian around the primary defender. Dacre over to help. Forces a bad shot, St. Louis. It's a 5-on-3. St. Louis keeps, takes. Finger roll, no good. Pushing the pace the other way, Team Quebec, Bandalian. Pulls up from the free throw line. Off the mark, rebounded by Isaiah Clark. Yusri Salia, head coach for Team Ontario, telling Kenyon St. Louis to slow things down. Make a good IQ play. Working with Fisher to his left. Isaiah Hamilton now works baseline. Kicks it all the way back out. St. Louis fading to the left. That one a little too strong. Hamilton with the rebound. Shot clock resets to 14. Isaiah Hamilton, though, takes the 3, gets fouled, so he'll head to the free throw line for 3 attempts. And if you're just getting to see Isaiah Hamilton and Isaiah Clark play together for the first time, we'll get this. Made by Showtime on Instagram said that these two were the duo of the future.
It's a big thing to live up to, but every time I've seen them play, they definitely do.
And you get flashes of them together, right, in this lineup, but a lot of what we're seeing is going through the captain, Kenyon St. Louis, Noah Dacre having the hot hand today, as well as Demetrius Woodard, number 9. You see them talking, the three of them talking there at the top of the key as Isaiah Hamilton makes the second. That's it, 3 for 3. Timeout, Quebec. Going to talk things over as this lead has ballooned to 21 from the halftime.
Yeah, I think you could kind of hear right there Team Ontario calling a play, so maybe Quebec kind of calling that timeout to discuss their press break, because you could just see immediately after that play was done, they were looking to set up in their press break.
Quarterfinal game in Paris. We've got you covered. Make sure to head over to the field house to check today's game at 12 p.m. noon for tip-off. Ontario Basketball would also like to thank Spalding for the continuous support in helping grow the game.
Ontario outscoring Quebec in the paint by 10, second chance points by 10. And points off of turnovers now ballooned to 25 for Team Ontario, off of a total of 12 turnovers from Quebec. So still a big part of the story here, but the bench for Quebec has been outscoring Ontario's bench 26-16. So a little bit more depth on the side of Quebec. Still lots of basketball to be played. 17 minutes and 1 second. It's a 21-point lead for Team Ontario. JJ Evison and Haley Hopkinson here with you on the call. We'll be on this call, then we'll take a game break, and then we'll be back for Alberta, British Columbia. No, Alberta, British Columbia is what's on next. We come back for Manitoba, New Brunswick. Day 2 of the U15 and U17 National Championships here at York University. Hounding defense by Ontario leads to a turnover. Jordan Fisher on the run. Isaiah Hamilton with the one-handed jam. That's a poster over the head of Grady Mapuanya.
I think they just executed that press absolutely perfectly. They never let up once. They didn't even have to reset up on defense because they were able to grab that ball right off of them right away. If that's something that they're going to bring to this game from now on, then this is going to be a difficult battle for Quebec.
Grady Mapuanya works into the paint, elevates over the smaller Demetrius Woodard and gets the bucket. Woodard took an elbow to the face, checking his lip for blood, while Kenyon St. Louis brings it over the timeline, picks up the dribble. That could be trouble. Jordan Fisher on the near side. Good defense by Ryan Jabril, who's out on the run. Gets the lay-in for 2.
Smart play there from St. Louis. No point in grabbing a foul off of that on a 1-on-1 with someone who has the height advantage at that point.
Noah Dacre leaves the 4-on-3 for Ontario. Woodard from the corner stays hot. From one hot hand to the other. And that'll set off a pair of substitutions for Ontario. Over and back. Called for Quebec. In comes Nicholas Woodridge and Isaiah Clark, as Isaiah Hamilton and Noah Dacre head to the bench for a quick breather. Isaiah Clark gets it on the inbound pass. Has Jordan down low. What a find. Jordan Fisher for 2. Jabril playing catch. Now sends it over to Bilodeau. Bilodeau. Travel. Too many steps for Ludovic Bilodeau. And that was the defense of Ontario forcing him to pick up his dribble early.
Yep, their defense is phenomenal right now. They've really picked it up.
It's 14-7 for Ontario here in the third quarter as we get our first look at Goran Davidovic. Number 10 in grade, checking in here with the white accents. Another press broken every time the ball finds its way to Jordan Fisher. Fisher, Davidovic from 3 into the game. That one just off the mark. Victor Vincent pushes it up now on the far side. Ball finds its way back to the hands of Jalen Chopra. Off the mark, rebounded by Isaiah Clark. Clark looking to get around Vincent. Has Fisher now. Fisher traipsing down the middle of the floor, using his body and size, blocked. But some contact on the arm from Grady Mapuanya will send Jordan Fisher to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, Jordan Fisher just impacts these games so much because every time he's running, at least 3 Quebec players are crowding around him, which if they're not able to stop him, he's got 2 options wide open along with the other 2 players on the floor. So he just like really disrupts their entire defense.
It's like he's got his own gravitational force.
Yeah, and there's not much you can really do about that because unless you've got the perfect matchup for him, help defense definitely has to come into play.
Jordan Fisher now up to 14 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, and a steal in 23 minutes of action. Very, very little rest for Jordan Fisher, who heads to the bench now, giving way to Jacob Wolker. The lead has ballooned, 26 now. Every time Ontario has kind of extended their lead, Quebec has found a way to come back. Good defense by Nicholas Woodrich. Here's Davidovich. Bounce pass. Clark into the paint. Down low on the block. Clark gets the rebound and puts it back up for 2. Second chance opportunity not going unsquandered here by Team Ontario.
Isaiah Clark is just super dominant in the paint, whether it's a little rebound shot like that, grabbing those rebounds down. He's just attacking that paint every time he's in it.
Demetrius Woodard showing the quick hands on defense, smacking that one away from Mapuanya.
And he's at 17 right now.
Chopra works down the right-hand side. Mapuanya from the corner, off the mark. Rebound fought for. Last touched by Davidovich. Joshua Charlton coming back in. Ryan Jabril will take a seat for Team Quebec. Victor Vincent. 10 seconds on the shot clock, working on Davidovich. Coughs it up. Dribbled out of bounds. Mapuanya hands the ball over to Team Ontario. Isaiah Clark with the good footwork to stay between his man and the basket. Nicholas Woodrich now gets the chance to show off his ability to be the floor general. Demetrius Woodard across the timeline. Gives it up to Woodrich. Decides to work on the strong side. Davidovich now working on the screen from Wolker. Nothing there. Woodard thought about it. Attacks. Elevates. Off the backboard and in. Around 3 blue jerseys. That's a tough finish for Demetrius Woodard. Chopra moving downhill. Coughs it up. Mapuanya back to Chopra on to the near side. Charlton hands it off. Clark with the good defensive feet, but a better offensive possession. Grady Mapuanya. And Woodard now over the timeline working on Chopra between the legs. Coughs it up to Wolker. Gets the handoff right back, working the 2-man game. Middle of the court. Woodrich hands it off. Woodard has a lane, takes it, elevates. And Demetrius Woodard has another off the backboard, 2 points. Chopra on the near side, guarded by Woodrich. Swing pass, resetting at the top of the key, Charlton working on Woodard. And Jacob Walker reaching in, fouls on the ground.
You know, they're doing a good job on defense. It's just, right now Ontario's just simply outplaying them, finding those lanes and just being so powerful that there's not much that they're able to do to stop them.
What about the efficiency from Demetrius Woodard? 19 points on 7 of 9 from the field, 4 of 5 from deep.
Yeah, no, just he must have woken up and been like, yeah, today's my day. Today is my day.
Rebounded and put back by Pelissier. Quebec cut back into the lead, but Woodrich gives it up. Bryce Dennis seeing his first minute, swings it over. Davidovich into the corner. Isaiah Clark from 3, that one short.
Yeah, Bryce Dennis wasn't participating in the media day practice with a back injury, I believe. So it's nice to see that he was able to heal up and rest up and on the court today.
Victor Vincent on the far side, working on Wolker. Spins, elevates from the elbow. That one off the mark. Rebounded. Isaiah Clark has teammates with him, decides to slow it down. Woodrich. Back to Clark. Keeps to the lane. Gets the finish and the harm. Was looking for the slam, didn't have the time. Nice finger roll, absorbed the contact, head to the free throw line.
I think he'll take the extra point over a dunk.
As soon as he turned that corner, I didn't see his eyes, but I could feel them light up. Yeah. You get an open lane like that, there's only one thought. Take it hard. So Ontario really showing their dominance here in this third quarter, outscoring Team Quebec by 13 points, 24-11, with still a minute and a half to play. The three-point play is good.
Be interesting to see Beckford and Bryce Dennis play together. We have the Isaiah duos, but these two are also a very strong duo. They're always being featured in videos together with their give and goes, and it's just interesting to see the sizes of them because it's not a usual combo with like a small and a big. They're both like similar sizes, but they work so well together, so I'm eager to see them on the court together.
Well, we'll see them likely for a minute and 21 seconds. Foul goes on Bryce Dennis, who does talk a lot about his pride on the defensive end.
Yep.
Being undersized, you do have, that kind of mentality where people undervalue you or don't project you to be a great defender the way he is. Shalon Beckford with the steal, has numbers, gives it up. Wolker with the right-handed finish, moving in left, extending the lead to 33 for Team Ontario over Quebec now. 1 minute left in the third quarter. Charlton gives it up. Stepping out of bounds, Team Quebec, another turnover. And we talked about court awareness a lot yesterday. It seems to be something that these players are still learning.
Yeah.
You got to look at your feet when you get them set if you're a shooter and know exactly how much space and time you have if you're going to dribble the ball. Isaiah Hamilton now over the timeline. Beckford kicks to the corner. Davidovich. Yeah. Team Ontario 10 for 20 from beyond the arc here early on a Tuesday. From the near side, Pelissier into the paint, foul called. Side out. – 26 seconds left on the game clock, 14 on the shot clock. So Ontario likely to get another chance to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Quebec hoping for a basket, a turnover, and another basket to make this a manageable deficit. Turned over and then thrown out of bounds. Isaiah Hamilton couldn't corral the loose ball. Side out of bounds, buried in the corner. And how about Isaiah Hamilton's just coming down with something on the near side. Shalon Beckford. 14 seconds left in the quarter. Isaiah Hamilton is on his rear in the defensive end. The three off the mark from Bryce Dennis. Finally, the whistle's blown. Isaiah Hamilton writhing around in some discomfort here. Not too sure what happened. He was jumping up and down to guard the inbound pass and then grabbed his back and fell to the floor. We'll have to keep you updated with that. In the meantime, 7.2 seconds left in the quarter, a quarter in which Team Ontario is winning 32-11.
Definitely very strong for them. They just look like they picked up the intensity on defense, which just led to way more opportunities with transitions and Quebec not being able to set up their own defense, which just obviously led to more offense, which is why defense wins championships, which is what we heard for all of Team Ontario Media Day. We heard dog mentality and defense wins championships. I think those were the biggest two takeaways from all four teams.
Absolutely, and we get to see, on the courts this week exactly how they plan to put those into practice, who the leader of this defensive unit is, and everybody's holding themselves accountable.
They really are. It looks like everyone, like you were saying earlier, is sticking to their own job and their task with their own defenders, but the help defense is just working so well because they've got that chemistry. They've said it over and over again that they all know each other. They've played with each other, played against them. There's always some sort of connection. So the team chemistry came really natural to them. So they can all kind of focus on their own thing, but know exactly when to step in to help the next.
Nice little round of applause for Isaiah Hamilton as he's off under his own power. We'll get some treatment from the training staff of Team Ontario. 7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Quebec have it on their own baseline. Over the timeline now. 1-2 stepping, no shot. Travel called. Picked up the dribble a little too early. Noah Dacre on the defense of Udraago. And Ontario happy to inbound the pass and let the clock run out. 89-53. Team Ontario have a commanding lead heading into the final 10 minutes of play as we step aside. We'll be right back with fourth quarter action. Team Ontario have 10 more minutes to stave off a comeback from Team Quebec in the U15 National Championship bracket. JJ Evison alongside Haley Hopkinson here at York University for all the boys U15 and U17 games. We are situated in the main gym, and the U15, U17s taking their turns coming and playing in here. Team Ontario lead 89-53 with 10 minutes left to play. The ball finds its way into the hands of Bryce Dennis, who hands it off to Shalon Beckford. We talked about them in the third quarter. They're going to see some fireworks from them. The rocket pass down low to Fisher. No good. A guy of that size, it needs to be a little bit higher.
And as for Bryce Dennis, we were just talking about his defense and how he takes good pride in that. He's a good defender, but he's also Brycey Buckets, his Instagram username. He's known for hitting some big threes, so hopefully we can see that side of him too as the fourth quarter goes on.
Demetrius Woodard grabs the loose ball, is out in transition, decides to pull it back. Shalon Beckford at the top, directing traffic. wanting the screen from Jordan Fisher. Dennis working into the paint, pulls up from the free throw line, off the backboard and in.
There it is. That's the thing. Even though he is shorter, he always finds a way to create the space that he needs to be able to take a variety of different shots.
Noah Dacre having the tough guard of Vincent. Vincent gets the better of him and will head to the free throw line for the and one opportunity.
Yeah, Vincent's been very strong this entire game. But the biggest challenge here for Team Quebec is obviously Jordan Fisher, which I think we'll see a lot of in the fourth quarter, just with Isaiah going down over there, getting some work done on his back. But I can't imagine Jordan Fisher will be taking too many breaks during this quarter.
The second free throw, no good. Sorry, it was the and one opportunity. Missed. Bryce Dennis. Shalon Beckford now on the far wing. With the back lob for Jordan Fisher, that one about a mile too far. Jordan Fisher able to reach back and bring it in, but couldn't put it down. Instead, the other way, Victor Vincent with a nice spin move off the backboard. Shalon Beckford shifting to the corner. Pass for Woodard. Comes to the hands of Jordan. Fisher couldn't finish it, back the other way. Victor Vincent with another basket. And Victor Vincent coming out to play here in the fourth quarter.
Yep, you can tell. He's feeling the energy for sure.
Does Jordan Fisher have a three in him? No, that is short. Victor Vincent now out in transition. Bilodeau can't get the pass. It's corralled in the corner now. Finds his way to the hands of Bilodeau into the paint. Victor Vincent on the far side. Baseline. Coughs it up to Bilodeau. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Bryce Dennis with some good defense. Bilodeau shot off the mark. Jordan Fisher with the rebound. Shalon Beckford slowing things down. The 8-second violation, just unaware of the clock. Kind of was scratching my head there, thinking, does Beckford know? Just a little complacent there, that's all.
Just a little bit. As long as those don't start to add up, then you can just brush that off.
How about the way that Victor Vincent's come out in this fourth quarter?
Oh my gosh, he's like a new beast. That spin move right there just to lay it in. He's definitely playing with a new energy, and I think he knows that he's got to be the one to kind of motivate his team and push them if they want to come back in this one.
Bilodeau corrals the rebound, and from the free throw line gets the shot to go. Donovan Bilodeau. Bryce Dennis working to the left. Over the timeline now, Dennis gives it up to Fisher, gets it right back, switching sides. Shalon Beckford now on the near wing. Noah Dacre in the far corner. Dacre off the front of the iron. Vincent can't corral the pass. Shalon Beckford steals it. Bryce Dennis sets his feet, takes off the back of the iron. Shalon Beckford again. Jordan Fisher, second chance. No good. Victor Vincent. Jordan Fisher gets the loose ball. And talk about a comedy of errors. Jordan Fisher, the benefactor there.
That's the thing. As long as no one's giving up on those plays, it's so clear to see this whole game, and I think that's why they've got the lead here.
Donovan Bilodeau. The stroke is smooth from the near corner.
Looks like we've got a five-man
substitution for Ontario.
Coming up.
Shalon Beckford hands it off to Dennis. Dennis just took one from that spot. Spins around, finds Dacre on the back cut. Dacre, nice finish.
Yeah, it's a good save there. Almost lost that one, but all is good.
Lead up to 31 now for Team Ontario. Quebec has it. Bilodeau in the corner. Bilodeau in the paint, gives it up. One more pass, and another pass off the backboard and through for Ryan Jabril. Demetrius Woodard blocked by Victor Vincent. Nothing easy here, even down the way that they are. Team Quebec still putting out the effort on the defensive end. An ill-advised pass leads to a turnover. Quebec, Bilodeau at the far wing, into the paint. floater, no good. Noah Dacre gets the rebound. And now Bryce Dennis will slow things down. Team Ontario will get into a half-court set. Noah Dacre, another three. You betcha. Noah Dacre up to 22 points on the game to go along with 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Bilodeau gets by his primary defender. Floater no good. Met at the summit by Jordan Fisher. Bryce Dennis, Dacre in the corner. Shalon Beckford to Dacre. And now they're just feeding the hot hand, and how can you not?
Yeah, exactly. How can you not?
I knew exactly when Shalon Beckford got the ball.
Yeah,
he wasn't
going
shooting
back.
it.
No.
He was giving it right back.
And that's the unselfishness that this Team Ontario does have. Like, they understand when this guy's hot, we're going to keep giving it to him. I don't care if I've got the open shot because it's what's best for the team.
Foul on the floor. And you're right, we got the hockey substitution coming in for Team Ontario. 5 in, 5 out.
Why not? Couple ones for Quebec as well.
On the floor now for Team Ontario is the captain, Kenyon St. Louis, Nicholas Woodrich, Goran Davidovich, Isaiah Clark, and lastly, Jacob Walker. Here's Davidovich. I think that was more of a pass to Walker under the basket. Other way, Donovan Bilodeau has one to beat. Lefty, no good. Davidovich gives it up to Nicholas Woodrich. Woodrich, floater, off the mark. Clark can't corral the rebound. Instead, it's Quebec out on the run. Bandalian. What a finish underneath. Baseline, under the basket, right-handed. Finger roll, that's pretty.
Yep, that's something that he is very good at. He's always finishing those crazy shots like that, ones that you wouldn't expect. Definitely a little bit of a slower game for him in that first half with those types of shots, but it's coming out now.
Well, those are his first points of the match. Quebec led by Victor Vincent's 17, and then Donovan Bilodeau has 14 behind him. And with 13, Grady Mapuana, who we haven't really talked much about here in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
He had a big impact in the first half. Seems to have kind of fallen off here.
Yeah, but the one thing that's staying consistent for them is definitely Victor Vincent throughout this whole game. He's definitely, from the outside looking in, he looks like their leader, the one that kind of runs the ball a little bit more, tries to kind of control traffic for his team on that court.
Well, he is the captain of Team Quebec, and he gets a seat on the bench now as Mapuana does check back in. Back to the press and how to break it. Woodrich in the corner, stuck with 2 on him, breaks it. Davidovich over the timeline, hands it off to St. Louis. Just a big game of handoff at the top of the key here for Team Ontario. St. Louis, Davidovich sets his feet off the front of the iron and rebounded by Mapuana. Bilodeau pushes the pace, gets it right back. Bilodeau, that's a deep 3, that's flush. Donovan Bilodeau.
Those Bilodeau twins play a lot with Montreal Prospect basketball. Really high competition there. And just way to get noticed.
Davidovich finds Louis. Davidovich gets it back. Nice finish, give and go. A little high-low baseline cut. Team Ontario playing team basketball. Bilodeau in the corner. Nice give and go. Mapuana on the near side, traveling. Team Ontario gets the ball. So how does Team Quebec, Haley, end this game so they have something to move forward with and something to grasp onto in terms of effort, energy,
Yeah.
how really to play out a 40-minute game.
I think it's honestly they got to push the hardest they ever have right here, knowing that although they might not be able to take the lead in this game, knowing and testing your boundaries of how hard you can push, how big of a score can you rack up in the final 2 minutes, knowing your boundaries, knowing in this time who's going to take on that leadership role, who's going to take on the defensive leadership role. There's just so many different things that are important that sometimes get scrambled in the final minutes of games, but this is a good opportunity here to kind of establish those things going forward in nationals.
Bilodeau on the near side off the front of the iron. 4 blue jerseys in the paint, rebounded and put back by Nathan Gabriel Pellissier. Woodrich having the trouble. St. Louis now with 2 seconds to get it over the timeline. Coughs it up. Bilodeau on the run. Easy bucket. So a tough time breaking the press that time for Team Ontario. Now a miscommunication on Team Quebec's side as Nicholas Woodrich has time to bring it over the timeline. 1:20 remaining in the game. It's a 30-point game. Team Ontario lead Team Quebec, the U15 teams. Isaiah Clark, a little in between the legs, fouled on the way up. Isaiah Clark to the free throw line. Isaiah Clark, 10 points, 8 rebounds. Quiet, closing in on that double-double for Isaiah Clark. And then another efficient outing. All of these outings have been efficient. 69% from the field for Noah Dacre. Isaiah Hamilton, 50%. Jordan Fisher, 40%. Isaiah Clark, 66%. Demetrius Woodard, 72%. Shalon Beckford, 100. You look at these numbers and you think, wow, these guys are getting great shots, and they're making them.
Totally. Yeah, the quality of shots this game has been fantastic. And this is really a great game for Ontario because the fact that they're able to do a 5-person substitution just really proves the trust that they have in their team and that everybody knows they just got to get out there and get the job done to the best of their abilities.
It also shows they have a big lead and they want to get some minutes for their younger guys and deeper bench guys and get some rest for the stars. Foul going to go on Kenyon St. Louis. Donovan Bilodeau head to the line for 3. You got some fans coming to say hello, share their support. Picking up chairs from the stands. Bilodeau 2 for 3 on the trip to the line. 53 seconds left. Team Ontario lead Team Quebec 106-77. Kenyon St. Louis slowing things down. Woodrich has it now near the timeline. Dancing. Keeps. Fouled by Donovan Bilodeau. Side out of bounds. 40 seconds left. 11 on the shot clock. Isaiah Clark on the inbound pass. Back to St. Louis. 8 seconds, decides to pull it. That's a good decision because it goes down. .30 seconds left. Straight on 3, good from Donovan Bilodeau. And Bilodeau's had a great performance here today, but Team Quebec unable to stifle Team Ontario's offense. Nicholas Woodrich in the far corner going to dribble it out. And Team Ontario improved to 2-0. Meanwhile, Quebec slide to 500. It's a 109-80 victory. Team Ontario takeaways, depth, precision, passing, dominance.
That was just it was just a dominant game for them. I think everything that they did was with intention, which I think is probably one of the most important thing in U15 basketball. Do everything with intention and you'll get the results you want out of it.
If there was a blemish on this box score, Team Quebec won the fourth quarter 24-20. Interesting to get coaches perspective on
Definitely.
that. We're going to step aside for a game, but we will be back for the U15's 1:30 tip-off. You'll get the sights and sounds from within the arena for all the other games. Thanks for tuning in on Canada Basketball's YouTube page. For Haley Hopkinson, I'm JJ Evison. We'll catch you in a few hours' time.
Toyota's electrified vehicles are for everyone. Every chauffeur, snack connoisseur, every scenery soaker, practical joker, every road tripper, toe dipper, every 9-to-5er, every long driver. Starting over 20 years ago with the Prius, we now have the largest lineup of electrified vehicles in Canada because this journey belongs to everyone.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Goes right to the bucket.
Oh yeah, you just love watching. I love watching. That's exactly what they want to do, right? And